This March Madness has been weird. I mean, all March Madness tournaments are wild, crazy, insane, but this one has just been so weird. The average seeding for the Final Four this year was 5.75, which basically like 6. And the national champion game was between a 5 and a 4 seed. And no 1 seed saw the Elite 8. Like, when will we stop caring about the seeding in the tournament? What teams are 1 or 2 or 3 seeds? Well, don't worry. I got just a thing for you. Don't you worry, little YouTube viewer. I got you. But before we go any farther, I just got to plug my podcast, Patreon, other YouTube videos and channels. Yeah, go subscribe, follow, listen. Thanks for hitting the like button on this video. I really appreciate it. This year, I did an experiment. I used my brain a little, and I wanted to test this tournament in some way, shape, and form. I knew I had no way of getting a perfect bracket, even though one of my brackets, I had the entire Midwest and West for the Sweet 16 right somehow. But I just wanted to conduct my own little experiment. I made 7 brackets of varying attention I put into creating it. But for this experiment, I made 2 brackets to be the control groups. 1 bracket with all top seeds winning, with number 1 power ranked before the tournament, Alabama winning. And the second with all the low seeds with FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson, which in hindsight wasn't all that bad of a pick, winning the whole thing, with the lowest ranked team in the tournament winning it all. Those are our control groups. Okay, so we got Alabama and FDU, top seeds and lower seeds. Then we basically had randomized brackets. One legitimately randomized by the app with KSU winning, and the other I picked my favorite mascot winning, Arizona State. The Sun Devils, the cool little trident pitchfork thing, that's my favorite. And then my next bracket was a joke where I had teams that I basically have ties with in some way, shape, and form, whether that's like where I grew up or where I'm close to now. So I had VCU winning because, you know, VCU is 20 minutes away from me and I have a lot of friends that go there. Yeah, whatever. And then the real brackets, the one I actually did research on with trying to pick normal feasible upsets and collecting other data that I've seen before on tournaments, with Purdue winning it all. And that, of course, didn't happen. But my last bracket was essentially the same bracket as the last one, but I switched up a couple matches that I was 50-50 on, and I had UCLA taking it all home. And that, of course, didn't happen either. All right, so now we actually have the collection of data that we did through the tournament. Not really an experiment that like I did. Just let the games happen and watch a couple of the games. The max amount of points that you can get in the ESPN app is 1,920. Okay, so that's our standard, right? That's the bar. That's the highest bar that we can go. So now we have my point totals for the brackets that I made, and this is where it gets kind of weird. At dead last, we have my lower seed bracket, of course, FDU winning the whole thing. And of course, that didn't happen, and I got 90 points off of it. I actually got 0.2% correct percentage on that. That's terrible. Then we got my mascot bracket, doubling my low seed bracket with 180 points. And then we got my VCU Virginia bracket with 250 points. Then this is the really sad part. My bracket that I actually entered into all of my groups and whatnot, I got 300 points when it was all said and done. I consistently finished last or close to last with that bracket in all of the groups I was a part of. That's terrible. That's so annoying. And here's the really sad part, is that with 330 points, my random bracket got more points than my real bracket. The randomized bracket that the app did got more points than the bracket that I actually researched for. Then my bracket with all the top seeds winning with a 470 points, a huge jump from the random bracket. And this is weird. My top bracket that got the most points was my UCLA one, where I had switched up a couple of my picks and matchups with a crazy 570 points. I actually sat pretty well towards the end of March Madness with 570. That's until UCLA lost in the Final Four and then championship. But I was actually sitting pretty with that number. So I guess with all this data, I guess I can conclude that I'm bad at making brackets and that the randomizer on the app is way better than me, a real human being. That's actually unreal. So next year what I'm going to do is just make a bracket with all the top seeds winning, go all the way through it and have the number 1 power ranked team winning it all, and then change a couple matchups here and there, and then have a team that's seeded between 3 and 6 winning it all. That'll probably be good. That'll probably be the first perfect bracket of all time. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, having fun, going through my NCAA March Madness experiment. I hope this collection of data can help you all out in some way, shape, and form. I wanted to come into this March Madness with actually wanting to learn like what makes these tournaments like actually crazy, and then now testing it with like high seeds versus like low seeds. Of course, if you pick all of the low seeds, you'll 100% lose. And then if you go random, it actually could give you the perfect bracket in like a 1 in probably trillions of chances. It's just very interesting, very interesting. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video or podcast.